They say that a dog is a man's best friend. And throughout history, dogs have been known to be loyal, loving and caring animals that can sense our emotions just by looking at our faces. But what most people don't realize is that it's not only dogs that can do this. Cats, rabbits, horses, birds, and even some rodents like rats and mice can all sense our emotions just by looking at our facial expressions. So why is it that our pets seem to understand our emotions better than we sometimes do? Well, it all has to do with something called the mirror neuron system, or mirroring neurons. This is a group of neurons in the brain that become active when we perform an action, or when we see someone else perform that same action. For example, if you were to touch your nose right now, there's a group of neurons in your brain that would fire both when you actually touch your nose, but also when you see someone else touching their nose. This is because these neurons are not only involved in performing the action, but they're also involved in understanding the intention behind the action. Now, scientists don't know exactly how many species have this mirroring neuron system, or exactly where it's located in the brain. But it's been found in primates, dogs, cats, rats, birds, and there's evidence for it in fish as well. Scientists think that this mirroring neuron system may be one of the key factors that allows animals to understand human emotions just by looking at our faces. In other words, when you're happy, your pet mirrors the facial expressions you make, such as smiling or laughing, and they can tell that you're feeling positive emotions. On the other hand, if you're sad or angry, they will mirror those expressions too, and they can sense that you're feeling negative emotions. But there's another reason why our pets may seem to understand our emotions better than we do. It's because they pay attention to our facial expressions while we're talking to them. In fact, they pay more attention to our faces than to anything else in the room. This is probably because they've evolved to be this way. Over millions of years, our emotions are easy to read. A smile means happiness, tears mean sadness, and a raised eyebrow and furrowed brow means anger or disgust. Being able to read our emotions helps our pets interact with us in a meaningful way. For example, if you're sad, they may try to comfort you by licking your face or nudging you with their head. If you're happy, they may jump up and down and wag their tail because they know that you're pleased with them. Of course, this doesn't mean that our pets always understand our emotions correctly. Sometimes they may mistake a frown for a smile or a raised eyebrow for a sign of anger. But overall, they do a pretty good job and they're much better at it than most humans. In fact, there was a study published in the journal Current Biology in 2013 that found that dogs are better at recognizing human emotions from facial expressions alone than researchers had expected. In the study, dogs were shown photographs of faces expressing different emotions, and they were able to correctly identify the emotion being expressed in over 80% of cases. This is impressive considering that some of the emotions being expressed were subtle, and some of the faces were partially hidden behind objects like sunglasses or a mustache. It turns out that our pets are much more attuned to our emotions than we give them credit for. So next time you're feeling down, don't forget to turn to your furry friend for support. They may not be able to put into words how they feel, but their actions speak louder than words. They may just be the best therapist you could ask for. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and leaving a comment below about other topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Until then, take care and stay curious.